The Council for Geoscience has extended its heartfelt congratulations to Eskom and its leadership on the approval to extend the life of the Koeberg Nuclear Power Plant. The Council says the milestone marks a significant achievement in South Africa's journey towards energy security. Joining us for more on this is Dr. Taufeeq Dhansay, Manager at the Minerals and Energy Council for Geoscience. Good evening, Doctor, and thank you very much for joining us on The Full View. So, in as much as you have congratulated Eskom, you as the Council for Geoscience have played a crucial role in that extension of Koeberg's operating license. You executed the probabilistic seismic hazard assessment. So take us through the significance of this extension in the broader energy security plan.
No, thank you. Good evening to you and the viewers, and thank you for having me. So I think in principle, the key thing here is that we are trying to maximize the benefit of all existing power plants that we do have currently. So in the case for Koeberg, for example, we're looking at a power plant that is roughly about 40 years old. And of course, the license was anticipating that by now we may have some additional generation capacity. But of course, we find ourselves in a situation where we do have unprecedented energy shortages, and we now need to maximize the utilization of existing fleet. So what we actually did as the Council for Geoscience was to contribute towards extending the life of Koeberg. And with that being said, we looked specifically at one of the key requirements, which was to assess the geological characteristics around the Koeberg region and to make sure that any type of probabilistic seismic hazard could be limited. So that was quite an extensive integrated geoscience research project, just to ensure that the conditions that were originally defined some 40 years ago have not changed significantly enough to cause any type of changes to any type of engineering design that would have been considered 40 years ago.
Let's talk about the broader importance of leveraging scientific expertise for informed decision-making in our energy sector. How important is it?
Oh, no, it's very important. So I think it's important to understand that in general, the science kind of drives the policy, and also any type of, in the case of infrastructural projects, any type of engineering and design. So you do need to take a very fundamental and a very pragmatic approach in terms of what does the data show you and how can you use the data to make informed decisions. So with regards to this particular study, we see that a probabilistic seismic hazard assessment is a very onerous process. It has a lot of international peer review, and that mechanism that is applied is a very stringent mechanism where you actually have to present quite a lot of raw fundamental data and then be able to make conclusions based on that. So we do see that, for more fastidious types of infrastructural development moving forward, especially with something as important as a nuclear power plant, you do need to start with fundamental scientific principles. And I think this is something that we do see moving forward.
A very profound statement that you make, that science drives the policy or science drives decision-making. But there's been a lot of criticism. Some maintain that the safety of Koeberg cannot be assured. There's a specific paper by Dr. Tristan Taylor, I'm sure you've read it, where he highlights the fact that the International Atomic Energy Agency recommended a series of necessary improvements at Koeberg in order for the plant to be considered safe. But he goes on to say that Eskom has downplayed or ignored the key findings by the agency. Your views on that criticism?
Oh, no. So maybe with regard to that, I should say that our case was to specifically focus on the geological characteristics.
Yes.
So, of course, in extending the license, there's a number of key requirements in terms of the actual infrastructure, the construction. But in our case, we particularly focused on the geology. So that implied we looked at any type of probabilistic seismic hazard that might affect the plant. So we do not extend into the
overall safety.
The engineering space. Yeah.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to you as well, in as much as you've opted to be more humble and congratulate Eskom. But most certainly, as the Council for Geoscience, you've played a very pivotal role in that extension of Koeberg. That was Dr. Taufeeq Dhansay, Manager at the Minerals and Energy Council for Geoscience.